And indeed, we are here. Welcome to Amityville Horror. Thank you for visiting. I am Clint,
I'm Don.
and today we're joined with a very special guest. We are here today with Julianne Prescott. How the hell are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh,
Fantastic.
well, Don's great. For me, there's not enough coffee in the world right now, but that's okay. I am excited to talk to you, no matter how tired I feel. So, I'm not even sure where to start. I mean, Don and I have really been taking a deep dive into the indie film end of things, and there are a few names that seem to crop up quite a bit, and one of them is yours, and it takes about 30 seconds on IMDb to understand what a busy worker you really are. I mean, and I've only had I would say just a taste, a sampling of what you've been into, and I'm excited about the few things that I've seen.
Thank
And
you.
I probably don't have enough time left on this planet to get through everything else that you've done. And not to mention all the things that you've got coming. And I bet you have a lot to talk about with that. But let's like fangirl out for a little bit here before we really do that. But you started pretty early in with entertainment and acting and things like that. Was it what were your early experiences?
Well, I I was very interested in the horror genre very young. It was something that I gravitated towards. I mean, super early, like third grade, I would say, is my first kind of like memories of it. And I don't know what it was about it. I was always kind of like an isolated kid that had like a different point of view, just super young. So I made friends with the kids that played Bloody Mary and talked about hands coming out of the ground. And like my first friend that I really remember, her mom was really into Stephen King and she knew about all these things, even like the Beauty and the Beast TV show, like obscure kind of like sci-fi or just weird kind of point of views on even fairy tales. So even that young, I had like a different interest in even the most normal things that kids kind of go towards. So for me, it was always something that I really loved, and everything I did kind of horror aspect. And then I started writing very young. My mom was a stay-at-home writer, and I just kind of up the kind of things that she was doing, but made them my own, where I was doing my own spin on my favorite horror movies. Because again, I got them. I would go to slumber parties and I would just soak up watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre or anything I could find that was, again, like horror related at public gatherings, even as a kid. And then when I got older, I got into a lot of like goth modeling, alternative modeling, and stuff like that. And I had no idea that I was going to be doing anything acting related. I had no training, uh, but I did get in with working at the booths for trauma at conventions very young, probably like early 20s. And then from there, someone encouraged me to look at Craigslist, which was like at the time not as like creepy. It was actually
Oh,
like productive, I guess. And I saw some auditioning links there and I found my first film, and it kind of fell in where I found the right film and they were kind of trauma related and they gave me a good reference. And from there on, I just got hooked into the experience of being more, I guess, actively based and just doing something in the horror genre that was very fulfilling for me, and that was getting involved in acting.
cool. That first film, was that Slices?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Is it that can still be found somewhere, can it?
Yeah, it's actually, I believe you can get it on Amazon. I don't know if it's on VOD, like if it's on Prime, but I know that one you can definitely still get copies of it. It has amazing uh, Trent Haga, who recently was part of a project I worked on. It's cool to circle back with people because that one I had no idea. I had no idea what was going to happen, and they told me no to begin with because I didn't have a background in acting. But I got that kind of like praise from Trauma working with them, and that's how I got the role. So ever since then, it was a really cool place to start because I still have friends from that to this day.
Wow. Yeah. And looking through, I saw there was the occasional TV credit too. Did um, that seems to be like a different circuit to me as opposed to film. I mean, is it more difficult to get into TV, or is it just less desirable?
For me, I'm from Florida, and I don't know how I got very, again, just very hooked on the experience of working on different sets. And I just loved it. And I was just happy to be around like-minded people and learning things. And it was just something I never even looked into before I became a part of it. So I got on a mailing list for someone that was in Florida, and they were doing a lot of castings for like dramatizations. They did music video work. They did extra work for bigger productions down there. And I just applied whenever. But with my look, with my tattoos and everything, it was harder for me to find stuff. But when I got in, it was like the best experience as possible. But it is very different. It's very formal. It's not like the kind of family setting where you're working on an indie film and you're all in it and you're seeing each other. And with the television work, it's like you get there and it's just like, you have beat, 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 like things you have to accomplish. A lot of it is not scripted, at least the ones that I worked on, and just being like an extra or featured or dramatization. So they kind of give you like a general idea, and they're like, okay, well, this is what we're looking to accomplish film wise, like what we're the footage. And then they let you run with it. And then you leave, they pay you, and then you get a card in the mail. And it says, this is going to be your air date and good luck. And then you can tell your family, and then you all, sit around the couch on that date and watch for the episode to air. So it was really cool, but it is different. It's a lot more formal. It's a lot more kind of like date oriented, beat oriented, where with indie film, I would say it's more of like an experience where it's more interactive.
Yeah. Well, that sounds interesting.
She's in a badass music video, dude. If you've never watched it,
Oh,
she's in a Twisted Boogeyman, and that music video is fucking wild.
That was
oh,
crazy.
Yeah,
I love
anything with Twisted is amazing. That one was just like pushed up to like 11.
well, now I'm gonna have to look it up.
bowling ball. Amazing. That's one of my favorite like experiences too. I was friends with the girls in it too, and that made it better. And then just the people involved. And then of course Twisted is just, woo. It was, I mean, I love that video to this day. I still like show everybody, and I I don't know. I don't think I could top that music video for real.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, no, I've heard that from other people that music videos are really fun to do, and it's a really cool thing for an actor to do. They just show up, and just hang out and have fun, and play a short part and whatever they want, and they basically just have a good time.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
It's fun to have
that,
the music too. It like
no,
when you play it in the background, it just gets you going too. It was fun. It was a great time.
yeah. And you also have experience with basically like organizing hard conventions, don't you?
I have
Aren't
a
you?
I mean, I learned a lot along the way. Um, Mainly I was kind of like the cheerleader or the welcoming committee,
Mhm.
or I guess like the fun organizer, to where at the conventions I always wanted to make sure that like the events or things that were going on that were kind of interactive, especially like the after parties, growing like the film portion where you could actually sit and have premieres for the films right there
Mhm.
at the convention, like a mini red carpet, stuff like that. There were a few guests that I was really excited, where I really kind of encouraged them to come out. Some people that maybe weren't as thought of, like kind of like getting them a platform to get out there into the circuit where they weren't thinking of it before. So I had a lot of thoughts on, again, just looking at it like a fan, or looking at it like I was an attendee. That was always my thoughts as to what I could do when I had the ability to like give feedback, would be to what I would want to see, and that would make other people more happy with the experience.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Definitely.
I love
Go
your
Clint. Go Clint.
What?
Say go Clint. Our mics are canceling her out. Do you notice that?
I did notice whenever I talk, I hear her audio cut out. So that's why I'm trying to be as quiet as possible.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm like crickets because I don't want her to cut off, but I'm like, fuck now. There's like dead air and it's awkward. It's like, who's got the next question?
just keep talking.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, weren't you, and I want to say that I heard that you had like a store that you were running for a bit with merchandise, and maybe were pretty strongly involved with what Days of the Dead or.
Yep.
Okay.
And it was in Las Vegas, and it was called well, it's still there. It's under new ownership with the weird stuff. We'll just call it the weird stuff that's gone on the last few years. It had to go into new ownership because of people not being able to go out and things and like that. But it was an amazing store, and it actually worked very closely with the convention, with some of the stuff that was signed and things like requests and things like that. We had like really unique inventory and really fun stuff, especially in Vegas. There were some other awesome toy stores out there, and it just really stood out because we kind of started having in-store signings, things like that, that became really popular out there. There were some, and we kind of like grew off of it and kind of contributed back to it. So it really helped, I feel, the whole culture out there in Vegas for the toy stores, but having it be like an interactive experience again, where people could come in and meet people to sign things. They could meet like some of their favorite artists and talk about like-minded things. There was some nights there where it was like a theme night and they could come out. So it was mainly like collectibles. So it wasn't exactly like if you brought your kid in, they would have to be a little bit older to really appreciate things. And otherwise, we had a lot of big people who were they knew what they were coming in there for and things that they really loved. And we tried to like really cater to that and like give back and talk to them one-on-one. And it was a really special experience to be able to talk to people, especially like people who lived out there, like our neighbors and people, meet them in the community and find out what they were looking for and actually be able to do that for them, but also give them a taste of the convention and give them a taste of the horror community. Whereas maybe they couldn't leave or fly out or experience things like that when they were living in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, it sounds really cool, and I'm sorry to hear that it had to change hands and your involvement had to stop.
It was the day before lockdown, like 2 days before is when it kind of changed hands. It was so crazy, the timing, but they're great people, and it's just amazing to see that it's still going and that's still carrying on that kind of mentality out there. That's what's most important too. It was fun to start it though, and it was a great experience, while I was there and when I was there in person. So.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to shift gears here for a second. Speaking of lockdown, I want to say that with the few things that I've really had a chance to see your work in, I really have an appreciation for what you bring to a film. And to me, almost every time I see you, you're a standout character. Like no matter how small the role is. Specifically, was speaking to Don about this, 5G Zombies. I mean, that was, once I realized what was happening, it's like, these people are doing this on their own. They're like literally filming themselves, nobody else around, and like basically acting out a scene. And quite honestly, whenever you were on camera in that, or when they edited you in, if it weren't for the lack of like sound effects, I was pretty well believing what was going on. And I just wanted to say that was super awesome, and I really appreciated that. And what was that experience like? Is it awkward to just film yourself and like pretend? Did you like write that yourself? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Dustin Ferguson has always been amazing to work with, and he always had like a great level of bringing what you were going to the film. And during that time, it was hard, obviously to have the distance between working with people, especially since, obviously none of us knew. We had our year set up, we had our projects, we had our interaction. We were super excited to work with everybody, and we had everything planned out, and then it all changed. So he was someone that wanted to keep going, keep pushing through. Let's keep creating art. Let's not sit at home and be upset. Let's keep making art from our homes. And at first it's kind of, well, how are we going to do that? How interesting are we going to be? But it came very easy. It was kind of like, well, here's what we're going to do. Here's the idea. And to me, it very much came easy with, I was never really told super at length what to do. It was kind of like an idea, and I just went with it. I was lucky enough to have the space, have animals around as props sometimes to help me out with it. And just the previous working experience and imagination, it did carry things through. It did make things a lot easier at times when you felt like, when is this going to end? When can I create in person? Because a lot of us want to do these films because we want to interact with each other one-on-one. We want to be able to see people and talk in person and be able to get in the dirt and the mud with each other. But during that time, it wasn't happening. And I was grateful for that opportunity because it made me think. It kept my brain going. Even though I couldn't really go places, I could go places in my mind to bring something like that together.
Clint, are you frozen? I guess I'm going to go then. That was one thing that kind of, I guess, I thought about, was especially after, and it seemed like horror movies really got hit with the lockdown. Like I saw so many that got delayed and so many that got pushed back and so many that got, just maybe even canceled. But, that was one thing with that one. It was amazing. And I think your performance in that was probably the best that I saw. Just because, like you said, you don't have anything to work with. It's just you. So, not to mention too, in teacher shortage, you were like the best standout character in that entire fucking movie, just as the bartender.
Oh, I love that movie.
So I love it. It's on my list. I will not take it off unless it gets yanked off streaming because I love it.
I love that it's out there where everyone can see it. They have more accessibility to see it. I was so proud to announce when I saw it just growing and growing. It was, again, like a really fantastic time working with everybody on that one. I mean, they were so kind, wonderful people to work with. I just loved it. And it was fun. It was a fun role. I would have loved to have been there, just as long as they wanted to have me. So I was just grateful for the experience. And then my death, little tiny bit of spoiler, it was just so much fun. But just in general, like I've met people on there that I still talk to this day that, again, I think they're really great. I love them, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm happy that you liked that scene, the scenes that I had with that too. It was so much fun.
I think that's really cool with as you say, there's people that you work with that, you just kind of befriend and hope that you get to work with them again, which Rebecca seems to be one that you get stuck with a lot.
I love Rebecca.
And she's fantastic too. Absolutely love her. So I think it's cool that, like in Shriek Show, your guys' little segment, which was amazing. And that's what's really cool about getting to interview, like how we did with like Jason Pitts with Masquerade and Alone. It's really cool when you get people that have been on a project together, because then you can kind of see why they get along so well. And yeah, you and Rebecca, I can see exactly why you guys get along so well and just kind of gel with your roles.
No, and it's great when you find people like that. Again, that's what I was always looking for. As a young kid, I had friends here and there, but I wasn't really kind of like a popular person. I just always did my thing. And it was something that was very, just a huge thing for me, getting to be a part of films and meeting people like that, and meeting people I looked up to. And then like meeting like-minded people again, like it was huge. And getting to talk about your aspirations, your favorite films, things that you love, stuff like that. It's, you can't beat it. And Rebecca's definitely one of those people. Like we had so many talks about like cheerleader camp and wanting to like do like a spin-off of that, and like all these movies that we really kind of like, it was like, oh my God, I love that movie. I love that movie too. Let's make a movie. So she has that mentality where she's like, let's make a movie. And she's in it. And she's like already like in that that kind of like world, and it hasn't even been created yet, but she's there already. She's at the cheerleader camp. She's over here. She's doing that. And I thought that was super cool about her. So definitely one of my top people that I highly recommend to work with, to watch. I loved working with her on Embalmers. That was a great film to work on. I loved my role. It was fun. It was campy. It was cool. But I was also like a pretty like innovative character too. I was smart. I was crafty. It was very quirky. So it was a little bit different. And anytime I can go in a different area, I feel like someone gets me when they're just like, you're going to do this. And it's something I haven't done before. And I felt like Rebecca gave me that in Embalmers.
I love that movie. And the fact that she directed it and it was an idea with her and her sister, and to put that on paper and to put that on film is ridiculous. That was something different. That was, and that's why I really enjoyed it. It was like, wow, this is something new to the table. And that's why I really like that we got into this whole indie circuit, is because you see the same shit over and over and over again in Hollywood. And it's like, guys, look, I'm tired of remakes. I'm tired of reboots. I'm tired of sequels that suck. Like, give us something original. Give us something that, hasn't been done before. And I think that's what you guys bring to the table, especially with your 125 plus credits. I mean, it's just something different. Like, just looking at all your credits, it's like everything's different. There's always something different.
Well, I think also when you have people within the community that are creating, a lot of times their movies are fresh, even if it's something that's built off of something else. It's their take as a fan, it's their take as a lover of the genre, and it's their take off of a conversation they probably had maybe at a convention, or maybe, just somebody that they know in general. They kind of build off of it. It's a love of the genre, and it's a fresh take at what they're doing that only someone that cares about the genre or came from it would have. So that's something special. I also feel comes from loving this genre and being a part of it. Is the more you're into it, the more you continue to build and support, the more you have even the most, I don't know, fresh spin on what you're doing, just because you're just so happy and just in love with creating, and it's really a part of you. So it really shows with your work.
No, totally agree. And even like looking through your credits, actually, like one just stuck out, was like Sleepaway Camp 2. So like that's, I'm sure, a continuation of Sleepaway Camp. So something like that, you put your spin on it. So that's awesome.
That was such a huge experience for me. I was so happy. I was blown away, because that's one of my favorite movies, and it has been since I was like, I guess like 13, 14. And it was for an anniversary release. It was released through, I think, an Australian distributor. And so it was like bumper footage. It was never before seen kind of like gore takes that weren't in the original film. And then it was the beginning, when they're talking about the campfire tale, TC's talking about it. He's talking about Steve and Michelle at the campfire. This is actually, instead of just talking about it, it's like a visual of what was going on. And then there's also footage at the end of like what could have been happening at the very end too, what we didn't see. But for me, that was huge, because it was something to me that made me even closer to being a part of something that I loved and that meant so much as a kid. So that was super cool to be a part of. Sorry, motorcycles going by.
Perfectly fine.
I was having my own technical difficulties.
Clint, I don't know what the fuck happened with you. You were playing like Hollywood Squares, going over here, going over there. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
eventually he'll get settled in.
Yeah, well, the internet dropped out twice here, so I actually switched my phone briefly, but it seems to have come back. So I went back to the original plan. So my apologies. I didn't mean to do that.
Sorry, man.
But
I'll pick up and run with it. So I'll let you go back to your thing.
No, you were doing great. That's fine. If I was gonna say anything, it's like I was just gonna back you up on all the conversation about the embalmers. That was awesome. The and the incredible amount of work that went into that. Me just talking to Rebecca to find out, basically all the 100 hats that she was wearing trying to bring that whole thing together, and the fact that everybody came together and pulled that off, and it turned out pretty amazing in my opinion. It's just sad that it's so hard to find, and I know there's a reason for that, but that's one of those things that I would definitely share with other people, and I think it's really cool. So even if someday down the road there's a good way to let people like pay a couple of bucks and just view it, I mean that'd be really cool.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna get a shirt that says "We Want Ivy," and that's all I'm gonna do, and then somebody's gonna release it.
Now I know you probably can't say a ton, but do you have are you planning future projects with her?
I definitely would love to.
Mhm.
She's definitely someone that I have kept in touch with, even in my weird reclusive phase.
Mhm.
She's someone I would always want to contribute to anything she's working on. I would love to collaborate. I have things coming up, and I will ask her once, because I always want things to be super like in the ground, rooted, and everything kind of planned out before I ask people. So she's definitely someone that's on my list where I'm going to go, hey, what are you doing? Can you be a part of this? So
Yeah.
always, always, the door is always open for Rebecca, for sure.
There was one that came up while we were talking to Rebecca, and she wasn't sure if you were going to have any involvement with it. And Don, what was that movie with the long ass title? Something Split Foot in the Great
Come
White
on
North
now,
or
you know what
something.
it is. You got it. True Tale of Old Splitfoot versus the Lesbian Warrior Nuns of the Great White North. I wrote
There it
that
is.
shit
There it
down
is. I
just to make
found it.
sure, because I knew damn well that was going to get brought up.
So
Yeah.
long.
Because when we asked her about it, she thought she might be the only one coming back, and Dawn thought maybe you would come back too when that finally got into production. And she's like, I'm not sure if she's coming back. So I mean, any thoughts on that?
I want to know if it's coming back for sure, because that was a super fun one. It was a
Uh-huh.
great concept. I want to know what's going on. So I've been kind of like snooping and looking to see what's going on. I just kind of again like stepped back for a while to look at other things that I want to pursue. So I haven't been as actively looking at the acting or things that were in production, what was going on. I've just kind of kept my ear open if people reached out, and haven't heard anything. But I'm interested in hearing what's going on with that one, because it was like a really cool idea. And if Rebecca is holding down the monastery or whatever we were supposed to be in, the chicken monastery or whatever, then I want to hear what's going on from Rebecca.
I want to see this fucking movie so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. It sounds to me like she needs to get in contact with you. You guys gotta
She's
let
there
each other know what you know.
She's on set right now.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of things that you have coming out, Jesus. I mean,
Do I have Jesus?
no, you don't have. I mean, if you want to consider
yet,
bloody
but-
nun, I mean, maybe, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's insanity. The fact that you're even able to talk to us is ridiculous. With all your pre-production, post-production, filming, like, good God. I mean,
Mhm.
well, Clint. I mean, and Clint said it first off. If there's any staple names that are part of indie horror, you're top of the list
You're on
for
the
the most
list,
part,
yeah.
because it's insane that you have this many projects. And I mean, two of them are, well, actually three of them are really close to us because
I know.
of our namesake. In fact, Amityville Karen, I've already pre-ordered it. Amityville Thanksgiving, but Clint knows there's one that I will not let slide, and that is Amityville Shark House,
Oh yeah.
because I'm a huge ass shark fan, and yeah, I can't wait to see that.
It just has to have a word in it that sounds like shark, and Don's gonna watch it. It's that's how into that he is.
What the fuck else like sounds like shark that isn't shark?
Well,
I mean,
Well,
it's well, what really pisses me off is when these shark movies have a shark on the cover, like Amityville Island, and there's no goddamn shark.
oh
That
really?
pisses me off.
Oh no.
Yeah, that makes me mad because I'm like, dude, I just watched an hour and 20 long movie, and I just didn't. There's no fucking shark whatsoever.
mhm,
No shark.
No. And
Gotta have-
Amityville Shark House has a fucking shark coming out of the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
wow.
sign me up.
There's definitely sharks, and there's a shark man, is all I'm gonna say. Man,
Yeah.
shark, man, however you want to say it. It's brutal. Brutal shark man.
I am in there like swimwear. Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
So I caught another interview that you were in a while back, and basically it was mentioned that you were working on a script of something that had been in the works for a really long time, and you were really pushing to try to get it done and try to get it into production, see if somebody would be interested in making it. Did that happen? Did you get your script done?
Not quite.
No?
It's a journey though, and it's a very productive, amazing journey.
Mhm.
It started with just having more say on set and having more like script supervising kind of things. And that started kind of like on Night of the Zomgoals, where I had more say of like we had to rebuild some scenes. So I was trusted to kind of look at that and have interaction. And then with Scream Bloody Murder, which is now I guess retitled Sheer Bloody Murder, I had a little bit with some of the scenes that were kind of like added in, and then it built from there to with Shark House. I had a few scenes that I kind of integrated in there, and I also kind of like went over the script to just kind of go through it and make sure that it was cohesive and everything was good. And then after that, it led to Karen. So Karen, we were asked to do a certain script. You know, it was supposed to be about Amityville Karen, but there was no ideas beyond that. It was like, okay, come up with something to do with Amityville and Karen. So that was the first time I got to really write a full script with just my brain going, and I came up with whatever was going on in that. And then it progressed into working on Amityville Bigfoot, which was another one we were asked to do. And again, I got to just let my brain run with it. And then it kind of progressed. And now it's at the point where I have my own scripts that I've been working on behind the scenes. But with those, it was more of like learning to structure and get things done on a deadline, or learning to structure things based off of what people are looking for and having certain criteria. So I got to work with that. And I didn't get to get my original ideas out quite yet. They always had like a starting point, which was also really cool because I didn't even know I could do that. I always thought with my stories, it would start with an idea with me, and they kind of would get stopped at a point to go work on something else, whether it was acting or wherever I was at. But now at this point, I'm at a place where I have original ideas that I'm about to get out there, but it's taken working on other ideas first. So the answer is no, really, that it hasn't been my full original idea or a concept that just came from my brain entirely, but I have built off of my own opinions. Like even Bloody Nun 3, I got to co-write with that script with Will Colasso, and I got to put in my input when we had to do a lot of moving things around for annual Thanksgiving. But it hasn't been like fully just me going and starting from something from my brain and my own personal experiences. But I'm about to, is what I'll leave it at.
Night of Skinwalker. That's what
Skinwalker.
I'm looking at Skinwalker.
That's going to be the closest one for me to have a full rein on pretty much everything coming out of my brain. And I'm not going to release the full details, but we'll leave it at that. I'll probably have the most control over the entire production from start to finish, what we do, how things go, where it comes from with that one overall. So I'm planning on looking on releasing full details about that a little bit closer to my birthday this year. But that one should be the closest thing to me just going out of my head and just putting things out there as far as I would do as a fan, as far as I would do as a lover of the genre, and as far as I would do being a weird person myself. So
Interesting.
Just running.
Love it. Hope it didn't spoil anything with that one. That one popped up. I was like,
No. I announced it. I was already planning on telling you first and foremost, you guys, a little bit more about that. I'm just making sure that I have everything kind of planned before going full blown with my ideas. But I feel comfortable enough in saying that that's going to be the big kind of mission for me as far as everything I've wanted to accomplish as an artist and a lover of the genre. So it's going to be Skinwalkers is going to be basically my baby, my full baby.
Well, that sounds awesome. And I
can't
think
wait for
as
that one.
updates and details become available, I'd like it if you share them with us, and then we'll make sure that we put them out to everybody that we can put it out to. Because and if there's any way to support it moving forward, I think that's something that we'd be interested in doing too. You kind of keep up on the progress. Maybe talk about it again sometime once it becomes more of a reality.
No, absolutely. As far as with that one, I just want to be so detail oriented and just so, I guess, I've learned along the way, being part of Cult Cinema, my production company here. I've learned a lot about lighting, sound, just every single aspect you can think of that I didn't already have a taste of. Helping wherever I could, wearing hats. I love hats. Me and Rebecca both love a lot of hats. If we had like an apartment, we'd have this weird like hat walls everywhere. But we're hat people. And I feel like it was very important for me in the past year, again, to step back as much as I loved acting, to learn about hats, learn about different things production wise behind the scenes. A lot of things I had no idea about on the production side, but also on the set, not acting, purposely putting myself in every other position on the set to learn what can I do? What happens over here? What is this person doing? What can I do to help? Because I wanted to understand exactly how to do everything. I wanted to be a person that could do anything on the set that could be utilized, or that could just have that knowledge for myself, especially when I decide to have like a full production under myself, or where, because if I'm not doing everything, I want to be able to help anyone under me. I want to help anyone beside me. And I want to help anybody that, is on the production with whatever they're doing. I want to understand what they're doing. So in the past year, that's really important for me. And I feel like I got some pretty cool experiences doing that.
Yeah. Cross training is important with any job. So, I mean, the more you know about how the entire machine works, the better you'll be at doing it for yourself. That makes perfect sense to me.
I loved it. I've missed acting, but I've also not missed it as much with being able to jump in and just grab different things. It's been like a different experience for me. I guess being able to do multiple things, whereas I was specialized to do one thing before. And then the experience of just doing post-production has been so educating. There's a lot. I mean, there's so much that people don't know about the post-production process and just everything that goes in. And learning about that, watching it, experiencing it has been super like informative too. And I always wanted to do more with my ideas, but I never felt like I was someone that was, I guess, ready to kind of take on that bigger part of the production. wanted to know for myself, that I could trust in myself to know everything else that was going on, or at least have like that experience before I knew. So that's kind of what I've been doing in the shadows.
That's cool. So you have a lot of projects in the work, or just a couple?
Right now there's about
I'm gonna count them.
3 major ones right now, 3 major ones. One is about to have a bigger announcement, and it will have it has funding, but it'll have like a smaller kind of campaign where people can get involved. And it's part of a more established franchise is all I'm going to say for now. I don't want to spoil anything. We'll just say it's a holiday slasher. But that's going to be fun. I'm working on writing that one, and we'll just say I'll be co-directing. Let's just give you guys the information. I'll be co-directing for the first time.
I want a movie
Oh.
name. Drop the movie name exclusively right now.
I'm going to be the not do it, but I dropped that I'm going to co-direct for the first
No, I'm
time.
kidding. I'm just picking on you.
But I have shot a few scenes by now. I've done the lighting for them. I did everything kind of surrounding what I could as far as operating the camera and lining things up and doing learning that part. And so for me, I need to learn a lot more before I feel comfortable saying that I'm ready to do something of that nature. And I've assisted, but to co-direct is going to be huge, and it's going to be with Will Colazzo. And I want to say, you got me so close to saying, but it'll be really soon. We'll be able to say something. And then after that, we'll just leave it at, I'm hoping to have the knowledge and feel ready to take on a little bit more. And that's kind of my summer plans, is if I feel good, you guys will feel good. I want everybody to feel good on anything that I do. So I love everybody that follows my work, and I always want them to feel like I care about what I'm doing too, and I care about who's watching. So I'm really excited though, because I feel like I'm almost ready to do that. So hopefully I'm right, but I need a little bit more. And this one I think is going to push me over the edge to feel more into that territory where I can dive in and really give you guys the craziness that's in my head.
That's some scary shit.
Well, we look forward to that.
It's scary.
Scary shit.
Yep. Well, learn everything that you can, but at some point, I guess you'll just have to dive in, right?
You have to just dive in, because we don't know, as we've all learned, in recent years, you just have to do what you love and give back to what you love and encourage other people and make them feel good. That's one of my favorite things too, is again, supporting people that I love and reminding them how great they are. And when anyone has anything positive to say back to me, it really does mean a lot. It means everything. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I hope that people love Karen. It's definitely a different experience. It was super fun to even get my head to think of what would you do with a Karen in Amityville. And from that and moving forward and everything before and forward, I love, a lot of my films have been having premieres lately too, and getting out there, especially films that we did in the past few years when things were very hard for people and people had to push through and really band together. I'm so proud of everybody that has been getting these films out, and everyone that's been looking to premiere these films. I mean, it's everything to everybody who worked on them. Everybody that worked on them, to see them come out is just, that's all you want. You want it to be out there to share and to encourage other people, and also to see what you guys did as a film family.
Yeah, I bet it's always exciting to see a finished product come out, and gives you probably an intense sense of pride. At least I assume that's what it would do for me, I think.
It does, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. I've had some films that I was surprised to see that they're still pushing, they're still getting them out there, or they found a way, whatever platform they found or whatever they're doing to promote, or they're still shooting footage, they're still working on it. as long as it's alive, it feels like, again, it's a creation. It's your creation. It's your Frankenstein monsters out there. And to see people still pushing life in, even when they don't have the money or they run out of time or something happens, when they pull that footage like back out and they put it, back into the world, it's really all you can hope for and all you can look forward to. It's super exciting. And I think that's another thing I've seen a lot of in the past year, just taking back, because I was so busy before and I was working, I was pushing myself so hard to just stay active and meet people and work on different projects and have those experiences, that I didn't see as much that was going on behind the scenes as I have in the past year. And I think one of the most special things I really noticed and watched in the past year was the premieres, the updates, the looking at where everybody's at, what they're doing, and the love. I could see the love a lot more because I wasn't as focused on being active. So I was looking at more of what other people were doing, and it was amazing to watch.
Well
Very
said.
cool.
I can't. That's amazing. Especially, doing what we do with this podcast. Stepping back and looking at, these Indiegogos and these crowdfundings and everything like that, and to know that, you're close to hitting a goal or you're close to getting something done. It means a lot to see, that there's people that really want this to be alive. We've seen a lot of projects that we're behind that we hope sees the light of day, because it really sucks to know that if you come close, you're right there, and you just want to hit that finish line, and it really means a lot to know that you care enough to say that all this is just a project of love. Like that's really what it is, because nobody does this for, especially like these projects. Nobody does it for, for the big wigs to see it or anything like that. This is just something that it's a project that you guys want to see completed. And, we've seen a lot of these, and, there's ones that I'm just like, this needs to be on the big screen somehow, some way. And I hope at some point, people understand that, like, especially like the like Shakespeare's Shitstorm, like
Yeah.
that's trauma. Of course, that's gonna garner that recognition because it's trauma. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. I want these other ones to see, the light of day, because they need to be out there.
Well, I see you have some Shriek show going on back there.
I got a little snippets of stuff that you're in or coming out. So yeah, Shriek
Yeah.
Show, absolutely incredible. I mean, I couldn't say enough good things about that. As soon as I saw it, I was on the page. Was like, you need to buy this. Go fucking buy the Blu-ray DVD.
Do it.
Soon as it comes out, or I think it's already out.
It's
So I'm
it's
I'm buying it tomorrow.
I think it's out. No, I was like, I was so happy. I love working with Brad Twig too, by the way. I mean, Rebecca and I had the best time. We had like an RV we were like in, and Chinese food. And she taught me about marshmallows and roasting marshmallows. And she's like, you haven't been around a campfire? And it was so fun. It was such a great experience. And the gore was really great. It was such a fun experience. That I highly recommended. Amityville Thanksgiving was so much fun. I got to like help do a couple of the scenes. Like Will Colazzo let me do some of the scenes. I got to learn about lighting. I learned about shadows and why you may or may not want shadows in your shots. I learned about sound recently on Bloody Nun 3. And again, like, I don't know, just watching it come together and seeing everything behind the scenes. And Shriek Show, when I saw that was premiering, it was a huge feeling. I wanted to be at the premieres, but I haven't been in a premiere in so long. But I felt excited to see the photos and see it come out and then start to see some of the reviews. And there's been a couple films that are having premieres right now, again, that are just, I mean, I'm so excited. Like High Fear, that's part of like the High 8 High Death anthology series. That one just premiered over in New Jersey, And I think they're over in Germany about to premiere again. Witch House is another one that's been hitting premieres like left and right. There's been a bunch of them. That Desert Shadows, I think, just premiered. There's a bunch that are just, again, like now that I've kind of been more writing and a little more slower pace, I can see everything coming out and just kind of look at the updates like that. And it's, I mean, I just, all of the effort and all of the work that goes in post and getting the movie out there, getting it distributed, getting it where people can see it, having a premiere even. I understand so much more in the past like year or 2 years than I ever did before. Just so to me, it's kind of like building a little like gingerbread house of my own of indie horror to learn about all these pieces. So, and then I'm going to eat the house and make my own. So.
Damn.
Fantastic.
Damn. I got real quick, man. I'm gonna build it and then I'm gonna fucking eat it.
Eat it.
So one that I'm interested in, Killed on Arrival, is one that Matt Burns has really been on our page about a lot, and we actually have I think we have the director. I have the director coming on the Director's Den, which is my podcast that I'm starting on June 2nd, I think, and so I have like 14 directors that they're all going to interview with me one-on-one, and she's one of them. So I'm going to pick her brain with that one because that one looks amazing. So that was one at the top of my list that I'm looking forward to. In fact, I mean, I don't even know what's at the top of my list of whatever you're in. All the shit's at the top of my list because it all sounds amazing. So
I loved working on that one too, and Matt Burns was absolutely amazing. Hope to work with him again soon. I had so much fun out there. It was great. The location was super cool. I felt like I was at a real haunt. I got to meet some amazing people in person that I really loved and that I was so grateful to meet. Donna Jean, Noelle, like there was a few people there that were really just stand out. I had a haunted interview with Donna Jean there, and it was weird. Like it kept messing with our audio and the visual and everything. So it was just a fun experience, and I am very grateful for that. And they're one of the ones that I've been keeping up with and watching and seeing them just push through and get things shot and get things where they want it to be. And they're keeping everyone updated, which is really important too, to keep everyone updated, let them know what's going on, let them know where you're at, what's happening. Anything I work on, if I know, people can always feel comfortable asking me, and I'll do my best. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. But when I have the information, I love to share it because I know how important it is, because everyone's so excited to see where it's going. And that's when they've been really good about keeping the updates and keeping the group active and posting. And I think Matt Burns is great at that for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. How do you say her name? Is it Monty Para? I'm
not quite sure. See, I'm telling you, I don't know. And I
do not want to like get an interview and fuck that up and be like, oh, well, here's.
You better ask Matt.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, Matt. Sorry, Matt. I'll put you on the spot when I talk to you next. Which actually will be on May 22nd because apparently I'm going to be in a movie too. So I'm going to get eaten by zombies.
Awesome. See, that's a fun time. See, I was a crazy doctor. It could have been under my scalpel. I did have a patient.
Dr. Dementia.
Yeah, I had a patient. I lost him, I think. I don't know, really. I tried.
Shocker. In a horror movie, you lost a patient.
Tried. He might not have made it.
Well, is there anything else that I'm not gonna tell you to say all your projects because there's too fucking many. But is there anything that you want to tell everybody out there, or Clint? I've taken it. Yeah. Sure. Do it.
I'm just really happy that I got the opportunity to mention a bunch of them already. It's been so fun to talk to you guys about what's been going on. Again, like you guys are my first live people in like a year. So I hope I wasn't too stale and dead.
You were terrible.
I know. I wore my best Jason Live shirt for you. It's the best I could do. But
Yeah, you're
no,
good.
I'm really again like excited for these films that are coming out that are on platforms that are available for pre-sale or available for sale. I'm excited for the ones that are premiering or about to premiere. You can look me up. I have films on Tubi now. I think the Roku channel might, if you put my name in, you can see. Amazon Prime, I think if you put my name in, you can see. I know that I love acting. I've had a great run of it. I'm not stopping it anytime soon. I'm just at this point really, I never knew that my writing would be so much of a passion for me. I had it before. I didn't think anything would happen, but that's the same thing that happened with me with the acting to begin with. So my writing, so the films that I've written, like Amityville Karen, I wrote the original script for Amityville Bigfoot. They did some improv with it, and I think it turned out really funny with that too. So that's another one that you can watch for to see when it comes out. I have more writing coming up. I have 3 projects I'm actually heavily writing on. I've been working with Will Colazzo and Cult Cinema Films and doing a lot of hands-on stuff to learn about behind the scenes stuff. And again, I'll be co-directing and hopefully more information for you guys very soon on that. And then Night of the Zombies, I think it's coming out next month for distribution, I believe. Amityville Shark House, it has been picked up by a studio that starts with a lion, is all I'm going to say. So you will be seeing that one very soon. And I know that Amityville Thanksgiving it's almost done being edited. I've been watching that one get edited. And then Bloody Nun 3, you can watch Bloody Nun 2, it's already out. But Bloody Nun 3 is going into that phase and should be, I think, summer release. And then as far as anything else I'm writing or anything else I'm doing like a higher level kind of involvement with, I promise I'll let you guys know and I'll be posting. And I'm going to be getting more involved like social media wise on what I'm working on too, because at that point, I feel like I have a responsibility to be out there answering questions more if I'm going to be co-directing stuff like that. So I want everyone to know that I'm excited. I will share that stuff when I have it. And then as far as premiere for films and stuff like that, when I hear it, you guys will hear it. So I am out there, and when I know, you will know. And you guys will know quickly.
Yeah. So for the updates, what are the best things for people to follow on social media in order to find you and what you're up to and where you plan to make updates?
A Facebook still. I am back on my Facebook as of I think it was like February is when I became more active, and I've been more active on there now. So I plan on being more interactive on Facebook. I think that's the best place. But if you're not on there, I would say looking up my Tubi, looking up the Roku channel, looking up Amazon Prime. My IMDb, it's good. And I think it has a lot of like good resources on there. But as always, IMDb is kind of like a hodgepodge sometimes. It has credits on there that are valid, and then it has some that are in the works. So I would say, I guess, Facebook's the most accurate. So it just runs out. Like I probably should have like a page that doesn't have a limit, but I still have that one that has like the 5,000. So if you're on there, you'll be updated. If you're not, then send me a request. I need to clean out a bunch of stuff anyway, and I would love to meet and add new people. So let me know.
Okay. That's fantastic.
Clint, I'm sorry I overtook this interview.
Well, you kind of had to. I mean, with all my internet issues, that's quite all right. I mean, I can't do all the talking, so I'm fine.
Okay.
That's why there's two of us.
Just checking.
When my shit fails, you're still on,
I'm the IT tech. If my shit goes wrong, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a tornado or some sort of horrible power outage if Don's stuff goes down.
No shit.
The power outage or the bad connection person. So for me to hold it together, I'm so happy. Again, like this laptop, actually the last time I opened it was for Amityville Bigfoot, and it's just not present anymore. This is a dinosaur laptop. Oh, maybe that's my next film, dinosaur laptop. There you go.
Oh, you heard it here, folks.
Dinosaur laptop. Julianne Prescott's first directorial debut.
The inspiration is everywhere.
13. Well, I guess
I would watch it.
Yeah, for the title alone.
I'd watch it 100%, without a doubt.
someone already took it because it's too slow.
Oh,
right.
Lord. Well,
Well-
you have been phenomenal. Damn, Clint, I keep cutting you off. I feel so
Yeah,
fucking bad.
do it again. Go ahead.
I broke up the duo. No.
Go.
Yeah. It has been amazing to have you here, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, and the fact that you graced us with being one of your first back into the spotlight, so to speak, and I'm really excited about that. I'm really happy about the things that you've got coming, and I plan on looking for that. And like I said, promoting it as much as I can, because I would like to see these things come to be, and if there's any way that we can play a part, we certainly will do our best. And I wish you the very best, and we'd like to check in with you again in the future to make sure that things are going your way.
Absolutely. I would love that too. If things go the way that they're moving, hopefully, I will get that original idea next year, and it'll have something to do with witchiness and my roots. And I'll leave that with you guys. That's my ultimate goal. So I'll leave you guys with that.
Stop doing that.
But
Damn it.
Summertime is the big one. And then I'm about to have a huge announcement for that co-directing. We'll just call it a holiday slasher from Cult Cinema. So I'll make you a deal. Before I click that post, I will let you know, so you can also be the first one to see it and share it when I have it worded out and the announcements all kosher and good and put together with all the great details of what's up. So there you go.
Deal.
Sounds fantastic.
Thank you guys.